Shack Ladysmith. I live in St Helens and I divide my time between doing community projects, the latest of which is setting up a community cinema, and doing appreciative inquiry on a consultancy basis. The story I'll tell you, Karen, is when I first came across appreciative inquiry. It was at a conference in New Zealand, and there was a lay minister who gave a talk, and he was talking about appreciative inquiry. And he told about this person who came to him in deep grief and deep, almost suicidal problems. And he really pondered, how can I help this person? And he said, I paused for thought and said, what's the appreciative stance I can take with this person? And just those words struck me. What is he saying? And then he went on to explain that taking an appreciative stance, an appreciative eye, meant doing something different. And from then I began to be curious and I learned about appreciative inquiry. That was the start. For me, it's been a network like family. Family on all sorts of levels. One, meeting like-minded people, because very often doing this work you're by yourself. Even in an institution you may be the only person that's going against the grain. You're suggesting that you turn over conventional wisdom of looking at problems and saying, look at this from a different point of view. So very often you're the lone voice, and that can be a lonely world to be in.
AI really is about growing and energizing and moving. I once did a training for ICT professionals, and they came with problems, and we started in their own typical analytical problem directed way. And they discussed where the problem came from and what the problem was, whose fault it was, everything. And within minutes they were all hanging their shoulders and feeling drained and not willing to go on. And then we flipped the way of asking questions, the way of discussing the topic. And we asked about, okay, so what do you like and what do you want to accomplish, and what's the value in it, and what helps you? What already helped you before, and who might inspire you, and all such more appreciative questions. And within minutes, where all the shoulders were hanging before, they all rose up and felt like, oh yeah, I want to do something, and oh, that's the first thing I can do, and they really felt energized and able to go on and continue. And it's those simple things, just changing the question and having such an effect that I think is, for me, the power of appreciation.
Well, my story is that it affected me, not especially in seeing things positive, with the glass half empty and the glass half full, because I'm a really positive thinking person all my life already. But it was for me big learning in being not so critical and not so oriented on reasoning and learning, but more on connecting with people and having attention for other person's opinions and ways of thinking. I think that I myself got less critical and more patient and accepting people with different ideas for myself and with different ways of working, what made it easier to connect to them.
So I've been acquainted with AI for a long time, since about 1993. And I've integrated it first of all into my work, and increasingly just into how I am in the world. So it is, I believe it is not just a methodology, it is a complete kind of philosophy of life and living and relating. And I do my best to live within that frame, although I don't always succeed. So looking to the future, I think appreciative inquiry has really taken root from those initial seeds. There's a whole network of people across the world who are interested. There are other thoughts about ways of being and what is good in the world that are emerging, like positive psychology, and I think they're really coming together. I think practicing in this way in the world at large can be a slightly lonely experience, because generally speaking, a lot of people don't see the world like this. And when you come to the network meetings, whether it's the World Conference or your local network or the European network, you have a chance to speak to and work with like-minded people, develop your thinking, develop their thinking, co-create. the future of appreciative inquiry.
There is a lot of generosity in the network. You meet beautiful people that open up to great conversations, and coming to the network, it's like a mirror to see where you are at and how farther you could reach. And it's a way to create new good friends. You know, you can count on them. And there's a lot of sharing of talent, of creative views. It's very enriching, and you have really deep, touching conversations. So I think you should not miss the meeting.
You will meet new people. You'll be nurtured. I have a belief that if you're supposed to be there, you will be there. So take that risk. If you have a slight inkling, no matter how slight, go for it. Take the risk, show up. It's worth it. Yeah, the community is so incredibly powerful.